Originally, we were asked to come here and talk about opportunities in Saskatchewan and how we made it happen. And we thought the best way that we could do that is to use our own example as to how we made the Dragon Boat Tours happen in Regina, Saskatchewan. Now what we did is we looked at the opportunity and how we made it happen and devised a so-called formula or a process, be sort of a framework, and generalize it. It's not perfect, it's probably not the best, but this is the best way we can interpret it this time.
And that's really why we're here. Today, in the breakout sessions we were involved in about making it happen, we saw some fantastic ideas and recommendations put forward. We'd like to show you how at Storm, we'll take some ideas and turn them into reality. Basically, there's 4 steps that we employ: vision, research, development, and sustainability. Now let's talk about that first one, vision. The story goes like this. The year 2005. The month, September. I was on a vacation with my parents for their retirement party over in the West Coast. And it was in, like I said, it was in September, and September in Regina is dragon boat season. The Storm had sponsored a boat, and we were basically kind of in an advertising mode where we wanted to go to the next level. So we considered billboards and magazines. But like I said, for the time being, the dragon boats had just wrapped up. I was on vacation. So I was taking in the scenery, when all of a sudden I heard my parents yell, "Scott, look at this!" And what I saw would change our lives forever. I saw 2 young men, much like Brad and myself, and they were doing tours around the harbor. Well, about the time it took me to say this sentence, I called up Brad and I said, still in dragon boat mode, "We have got to do tours on Wascana Lake in Regina, and we have got to do dragon boat." And I'll never forget, this is over the phone, remember? I'll never forget Brad's expression, and I still know, even though I couldn't see him, this is what it was. Which is an uncommon reaction for some of the ideas that I get. But, as always, he kept an open mind, and he believed it was worth a shot. So that was where the research began.
As soon as I hung up the phone with Scott, I thought about his idea, and being a person that had many before really giving any thought to it, I was like, well, okay, let's really think about this. It's kind of very unique in a lot of ways. So I began thinking about the research aspect of this. Is it in fact viable? Well, there's a lot of things to consider. First and foremost, is there even a tour opportunity on the lake? Like, is there enough to talk about? Is there content on the lake to discuss? Well, people find that in fact interesting. Turns out, there's tons. There's more than enough. In fact, we've got so much that we kind of change our tours and feature different aspects at different points. And we cater it to the group. And it is very interesting stuff, although that people just think Wascana Lake, well, it already kind of smells certain times of year. There's a lot going on there. And many people underappreciated the commodity value of Wascana Park and Wascana Lake. So immediately we knew that in fact there was something there. And then it became time to actually getting into the practical level of, can this be viable? Looking into what sort of regulations surround operating a boat tour company. What kind of qualifications we need as tour operators. What sort of things that we need for safety on the boat. Where are we going to find a dragon boat in Canada? Is there even a company that builds them in Canada? How are we going to bring that to Regina? Where, in fact, are we going to get our supplies, whether it's life jackets, drums, mallets, 7-foot oars, and things like this? And not only that, but many of you might know, and some of you might not, that a dragon boat is 50 feet long. It has 20 people that paddle at a time, plus a drummer and a steers person. That's like a semi-trailer behind a vehicle being pulled. Where are you going to park that? Where are you going to park that when you're not on the lake? And where are you going to park that in the middle of winter? Because a semi-trailer will go between its chock points and drop off its load and then carry it on and get picked up again and get refilled and continue on its way. But where does the boat go? It has to sit somewhere. So these questions had to be answered, and we started going through that process, and it was a very sequential process in that if any of those things didn't add up, the idea and the project were toast. At which point we determined that in fact, yes, this can be done and we can pull it off.
Now for those of you keeping score, 8 months has passed since that first September when we had the vision. It's now April of 2006, and we still had to get a boat, which was in Toronto. Sorry, we had to get a trailer, which was in Toronto. We had to get a boat in Montreal. We had to drive the whole thing on trucks. We used my Trans Am to tow it, which is the story itself. We had to strip the old decals off the trailer. On the trailer boat, we had to put our decals onto it. We had to design a head from scratch, which you've probably seen at our trade show booth. We had to design a tail, we had to design a drum, and we had to give it a little bit of a flair. So we pimped our dragon boat, and we put some padded seats on it. Oh, and just to make things interesting, we also had to design an entire marketing campaign for this thing. So we're talking websites, brochures, the whole 9 yards. Well, somehow we pulled it off with 3 days to spare before our grand opening on the May long weekend. But there's just one problem. The boat wasn't in the water yet. We hadn't even put it in the water. We knew it wasn't going to float. So, luckily with the help of a few friends, we put it in the marina and it was just a dream. It glided perfectly for us. So we thought it was a big bullet there. But there was another problem. We hadn't actually tested out a tour yet, and we were going to be giving tours in about T-minus 2 days. So, 3 a.m. on the day of our grand opening, we couldn't put the boat in the water, obviously, because we couldn't see anything. So, pulled up the good old Trans Am once again, drove around Wascana Lake, and just did a mock tour. Wascana Center Authority was kind of looking at us weird, but we did it, and in the end, the grand opening was a huge success. The mayor was there to christen the boat, and proudly declared he was the first and probably only ever prairie mayor to christen a sea vessel. Minister of Finance was there to ceremonially mount the head on the boat. We gave free tours to everybody. The entire grand opening was a success, and the Eco Party Dragon Boat Tours was born. Perfect advertising avenue, stormed to show that we not only preach creative technology solutions, we can apply it to our own company.
So shortly after the grand opening, and everything was an overwhelming success for the start, it became time to actually market the product at a big level. And it needed to be sustainable. This wasn't a one-time big bang, here we are, we're done, finished. We're here for the long haul. We're around. We want to be known as a company that's here for infinity. And so it became time to make this idea sustainable. So what's the best products in the world? The ones that sell to babies all the way up to 95-year-old women. So we began devising tours around this. We came up with different tours for kids, different tours for couples, different tours for corporations, virtually anything and everything for anybody. Some of you may have seen our pirate sail up top there on our trade show booth. Yeah, that's the pirate sail we use on our pirate birthdays for kids. And you may have seen the table. We put that table on the boat and we curtain off the boat, and it's a private VIP evening for a love boat tour for a couple. It's like a Venetian gondola ride. Okay? We took some of the games from Survivor, and I applied some of my knowledge of human resources and organizational behavior and theory and development, and created a tour called Survivor Wascana. And corporations can book the tour, we provide lunch, and they play these games, and we help build their teams or their workplaces to be more efficient. So this is the type of things that we've developed. And that's good that we have tours now for the boat, but ultimately, would we as a company be sustainable? Well, here's what we did. We went back to the clients that we had initially and collaborated with them to develop ways that we could sell their products on their tours or feature their products on our tours. So it became a chance for us to return a favor to our clients. And for the people that we didn't know and have relationships already, it opened doors because we could come to them and say, hey, we've got this idea, we want to do this, can we use your stuff? And not asking for a discount or a break or anything like this. We just want to feature it, and hopefully you'll promote us too. And it worked out great. This whole idea of collaboration created the success of Storm. You might know us because of our 50-foot dragon boat, which is basically a movable billboard in some cases, and the tours that we do on Wascana Lake. But you get to know us as an IT company when you come on tours and meet us through our promotion and everything like this. So as you can see, although the dragon boats became very popular and more publicly known, the business-to-business side of our company benefited because of it. And that's how we created the sustainability of Storm content.
So now you've heard about us a little bit, let's talk about you. First of all, I don't know if anybody's seen it or not, but Regina Leader posted a few days ago, huge headline, Saskatchewan sizzling hot. Think about that. Sizzling hot, that is fantastic. You know what that is? That is people just like you who have made a choice. The choice could have been to move to Alberta. Grass was green, right? But instead, you chose to stay here and make something of the province.
A question, sir.
Yes, Brad, what's that?
How many headlines have you seen like that in your lifetime?
I'm glad you asked me that. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the only time we've ever seen a headline like that. Just days prior, doom and gloom was all that you would see in the Regina Leader Post. This is what we need to talk about next.